In this video, we're focusing on finding a side of a right-angled triangle. So using the trigonometric ratios, we can find an unknown side of a right-angled triangle. Now remember, your ratios are sine theta equals opposite over hypotenuse, cos theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse, and tan theta equals opposite over adjacent. So how we remember that is SOHCAHTOA. So here we have some problems. So the first problem is we have this triangle here. We have an unknown x on the left. We need to find what that value is. So the first thing you do with any of these type of problems is you label the sides that have values. Now that's important. So over here, I know we have the hypotenuse, so I'm going to put a h, and then over this side, if I draw a straight line over here, we have the opposite. I'm not going to worry about the bottom down here. We know that this is adjacent. I'm not going to worry about it because it's not useful for finding x. It doesn't have any values. So this is where SOHCAHTOA comes in help. So we have SOHCAHTOA. So I look over on the triangles, and what I wrote down in red, I wrote O and H. So I go back over to my SOHCAHTOA and I like, well, which one of those has O and H in it? Now this does. That means I'm going to be using sine. So we know that sine theta equals O over H. So now that I've got that, what I can do is substitute in any values. So sine 31/43 equals opposite, which we don't know, that's our x, so let's put x there, over our hypotenuse, which was 12. I now need to rearrange the equation to solve it, so I'm just got x by itself, make that the subject. So times 12 times 12, those 12s cancel out over here, and I'm left with x equals 12 sine 31 degrees and 43 minutes. Now that you've done that, you can put it in the calculator and it'll spit out 6.31. If you had units, you would put units in there. So if it was in meters, you'd put meters. If it was millimeters, you'd put millimeters. So that's one way. Now that way we noticed that our x over here was on the top. It was our numerator. Okay? Very easy, just multiply the bottom number up. Done. This example will have the unknown as the denominator. So, but we're going to do the same thing. Here we are looking at this. We have h over here, and then we have a over here. So again, I can write out, so that's a terrible h. SOHCAHTOA. I notice I have a and h, so I know I'm dealing with cos. So we have cos theta equals a over h. So down here, let's substitute in our values. Cos 72/18 equals 6.3 over x. Alright, so now that we've got that, we can rearrange it. Now, the long way to rearrange this would be to times x, and then I'm left with x cos 72/18 equals 6.3, and then I'm going to divide by cos 72/18, divide cos 72/18, and then I'm left with x equals 6.3 over cos 72/18. That's the long way. The shortcut way is if you ever get the unknown on the denominator, so over here, what you do is you just swap those two positions and you end up with the resultant down the bottom. You don't have to do the times x, then divide by the cos. It'll get you straight to the answer if the denominator is on the bottom. Once you've got that, you want to put in the calculator. One thing to note when you put in the calculator, when you put cos in, you'll have a bracket here. Make sure you put your close bracket on there, otherwise you get math error and not know what's going on. So make sure you close the brackets if it's in the denominator. So over here we end up with 20.72. Again, we don't have units this time, but let's say this was in meters up here, then this would be in meters down here.